I'm Belinda Womack. I'm here with Deborah Langford, who I will introduce in a moment. And we're going to give you a little lesson for the School of Spiritual Evolution. We're so glad you could join us. Before Deborah starts to speak, I just want to take a moment and say that she has created an incredible course to help healers and artists and all those uber sensitive people to market their creative genius, because that's the tough part, is getting what God has blessed you with, right? Expressing your genius and getting it out there in the world, which means bringing your audience to you. So how I first met Deborah is she was a student of the Golden Passport program, and she said, we're giving you the short version here, Belinda, I'm supposed to help you, and we're going to build the School of Spiritual Evolution. So she built, she's quite a genius, the School of Spiritual Evolution, and has really, we'll say, given Belinda, Deborah's a one-of-a-kind person. So she has given me a lot of encouragement and a lot of direction on how to share the courses that the angels teach with the world. And from my own perspective, what I just want to say is that you can get your ego out of the way. When you focus on, hey, this isn't mine, even if you think it's yours, even if it's a beautiful batch of chocolate chip cookies, the angels love to use that example. God within you has blessed you with whatever this creative expression is, whether you are a healer, whether you are an artist, whether you are a storyteller, whatever it is, God within you and God within oneness has blessed you with this and given it to you so that you share it. And once you really get that in your being, that it is a gift for you to share. It's not a gift for you to sit on like a golden egg. It's not a gift that's going to be rejected by those who really need it. Those who really need it are looking for it. And so, yes, the angels are helping you. Yes, all of the helpers are helping you to connect with that audience or with those students or with those buyers. What you do need to share and put some of your energy into that, well, that offering. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Deborah. I'll be asking her a few questions. So Deborah, say hello to these beautiful people, co-founder of the School of Spiritual Evolution.
Thank you, Belinda, for that beautiful introduction and always those wise words that come from you. Um, it's uh, it's received with much love and gratitude always. And I send love and gratitude to the 12 Archangels for the privilege of serving and for the privilege of being involved with the School of Spiritual Evolution. um, I don't take that lightly, and I understand the beautiful energy that comes from that love and gratitude. And I think that is what I've tried to do with my course is show people that there is a way of creating from that space of love and gratitude and guiding them and mentoring them in um, in making sure that they have stepped into what they're called to do.
So Deborah, tell us what the name of your course is. Tell us how big the course is. And who did you create it for? And how does it work? How does it replace you? That's the ultimate question. Why is it that when any of we'll just use this for an example, but any of the students that go through the School of Spiritual Evolution, taking one course or many, and they recognize, hey, I've got, you know, Source's creative genius in me, and I want to make a difference, and I want to share what I'm creating, right? So how is it that this course, this incredible course that you have made, now replaces you? You no longer have to walk these beautiful beings through each and every step of the process. They now can do it step by step at their own pace through your course. So, and why is that better than you? Tell us.
Okay, so what happened was I remember you saying to me quite a while back, you need to teach this that you do naturally. So, in other words, I'm naturally drawn to share my skills and my experiences. I started my first business. In fact, I thought about it the other day, and I started selling plastic bags at the age of 16. I was always looking to, the word that comes to me is flog something. It must be in my genes. I know it is. And then at 20, I started a serious business that I had for 28 years. And so I've got those. Not only do I know who I am as a divine being, I understand that calling and who I am in terms of that I embodied here with certain soul um, contracts, or let's say a divine purpose, a soul purpose. And part of that, or one of those, was to assist with the school and then to assist with the students in terms of guiding them in a way that helps them from a place of giving them business advice or helping them on their journey, and also understanding that they're a sensitive being. Because what I found was that a lot of people came out of the world, and, as a divine being, they looked at courses that were created from people that don't understand who they are. So don't take into account that they are a sensitive being and they need guidance from a spiritual place. And then what happened was I saw the same things repeating in the people that came to me. They had the same struggles. They had the same things that were causing their frequency to go down. So it's almost like, a radio, if I use that term, and you're fiddling with the dial, and so they jump onto a course or they listen to someone that doesn't understand who they are. And so it messes with their frequency. And then that means they start to create from a place that is a lower level. And so that causes frustration, it causes confusion, it means they get disappointed. And so, why I created this course was to address those issues, to show them that yes, we are part of this world, that we need to create these services, these products, these opportunities for ourselves, but we need to create from that pure place of love, gratitude, and at the right frequency. And that is how the course came about.
And so what's in it? And again, why does it replace you? I get that as you've shared with us that after you've helped dozens of people, that you started to quickly map out that they were all having the same uh, problems, and not only problems, but the same, jumping off the cliff
Mhm.
points where they would just freak out and say, I can't do this. And so, you know, how does your course deal with that?
Okay, so I go back a lot of times when people come to me, they are, and I saw this in a real that I got, and it's literally they are dragging something uphill. So many times people are perhaps tapped into the wrong um, plan and purpose. I'm using words that people will understand. So they have created something that is not part of their divine calling. And so what I thought, and it happens often. And so what I've done with the course is I go right back to the beginning, because when people first came to me, they would book a session and I'd listen to them. And what I was finding was that 80% of them were dragging this bundle up the hill and they just didn't want to do it. But because they'd started that creation, they continued to try and drag this thing up the hill. So we start in the first episode, with the first lesson, where I actually talk to them about creating from their story. So, what I learned on my journey was I created my story as Deborah, and I created different experiences in my life because that was part of my story. And those experiences shaped who I was in this embodiment. And what I do is I get people to examine their stories. And what that does is it allows them to actually see what they've created in their journey. And so many people then see with clarity why that bundle that they're trying to drag uphill, um, they pause, they open the bundle up, and then they start to examine what they're dragging up the hill. Sometimes it's a case of this bundle is not what I've been called to do. Other times it is there are rocks in my bundle and I need to take them out. I call it finding the gold nuggets within your story. Those gold nuggets are, when you find them, is what you have to drag up the hill. And I use the words drag up the hill because not things are not just easy. We think because we are divine beings that everything becomes easy. It's not easy, but it's much easier when you identify what you have to pull up that hill, because then you lighten the load. And that's where I start. I start with a story, the stories within the stories, and then we find the gold nuggets. Those gold nuggets become our business, our purpose, our divine calling. And from there, we start to create. We start to, I say to my clients, my students, you are like a lighthouse house. When you start to fuel that lighthouse with those gold nuggets, you pulsate into the world. And from that pulsating, you draw your tribe, you draw your audience. When you drag that bundle up and you try and pulsate from that energy, what happens is you cause yourself frustration, um, confusion, and then you put that out into the world and you draw to yourself more frustration, more confusion. And that is why I start with this process. And it has been really, really amazing to see the results of spiritual beings that start to go back to that space of undoing that bundle and finding their gold and their treasure within that bundle. And so that's where we start. And that's what the course is about.
And then where do you take your students from that beginning part? It's my understanding from listening to you talk a little bit about this incredible course that you take them truly on the journey from beginning with a creative idea or concept, helping them to let that come into manifestation, and then all the steps needed that resonate with that person to create, a viable marketing strategy. And I don't want anyone to freak out from that term marketing strategy.
Mhm.
From a heart perspective, all that means is a way to share that from that lighthouse, so that those that are looking, their ships out at sea, and they need that lighthouse so that they can come, home. And so again, it's my understanding that you take them from the beginning all the way through to, this is how you develop a marketing strategy for you, how you stay on track, and how then you take care of your part of what you need to take care of. Of course, source and the angels and the guides are also, the helpers are also helping. Did I get that right? Or, um,
Perfectly. And I love the way you've said, don't freak out or don't panic around the word marketing, because that's exactly what happens with spiritual beings. There are certain words and certain situations or certain places that they move to as they go through the journey of my course that triggers them, that freaks them out. I did an interview with a young lady where she'd created the most incredible products, and she was just flying. And then I knew that there would be a time where panic set in, and it came when she had to take that beautiful product to the world. And so I have seen the different stages of when panic sets in. And so what I've done is I call it, there's a section that starts off with marketing magic. And so what I do is I do a section and I deal with the issues that are going to come up. So call it marketing magic, and I explain to people what needs to take place in the world. So, in other words, you've got to do certain things. But then I also do teachings on how to overcome that and the experiences, the emotions, the fears that are going to come. So I deal with those things, and I actually say, this is what you're going to feel. This is how we're going to deal with it. And also giving them different examples. And what is happening now is there are students that I'm interviewing and I'm adding them to the course, because it's so important that other spiritual beings learn from the experiences of those that I've taught and that have overcome those specific things. So, like this weekend, I woke up and I literally got three downloads. One was called Traffic, Traffic, Traffic. And I spoke on, I spoke on the camera, which is like for Deborah. Oh, that's my worst, is like staring at the camera and speaking. Um, and I just spoke for like maybe 40 minutes on traffic, traffic, traffic. And I just got this download and I spoke from the heart. And I live and speak what you're going to experience, because that comes from my heart, from my soul, from who I am. And so the course is ever evolving. When I did the course right in the beginning, I woke up one day and I'd done all this stuff almost robotically, like, what is a website and a sales funnel and how you get things to market and whatever. And I woke up and there were three recordings left, and they were all an introductory thing. Everything else was gone. And I was like, where's the stuff gone? And then I was like, are you for real? I went to my higher self. Do you want me to do this stuff? Why is this stuff gone? And then I realized that I had done it from a place without checking in with my frequency. And so I need to create from that love, that gratitude at a certain frequency in order for my clients and students to be elevated and to connect with that frequency. So it was gone. So I had to start all over again, recording and doing and whatever. So this course has got all these elements. And as I see there is a struggle, So I tap into and I go to a place and I ask Source, my inner child, my higher self, to assist me in creating stuff that assists those that are on the spiritual journey. Because this is part of my divine contract, my spiritual calling to assist those with my skills at this time. And I understand that. And sometimes I create something and I look at this course and I think, you're getting so fat. Where am I supposed to put you? But I know that I know that I know. So that's a little bit about the course. I hope that assists.
Well, so everyone, I have not taken Deborah's course. Um, I have been blessed that she has, held my hand through certain things, but I also have 12 archangels that guide me and say, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And so, it's a team effort. One of the key things that they are guiding me to share about Deborah's course with complete transparency, I have not taken it. Apparently, the 12 archangels know what's in this course. And what they say is there's lots of, you know, courses on creating projects and products and businesses and marketing strategy. All of that is out there. But here's what makes Deborah's marketing creative. What is it called, Deborah? What do you call your course?
So, um, creating a divine business.
Okay, my apology that I missed that. So creating a divine business, what makes it exceptional? What makes it really different? Well, there's a couple of things that the angels say. One is that because Deborah is a channel of love, she brings love into every lesson that's in the course. It's a healing quality of love that lifts the student up to where they are resonating at their own heart, their own Christ consciousness, their own creative genius. But this is also where courage lives. So if you are a fraidy cat, and we've all been fraidy cats, that means being afraid. That's part of the schoolroom earth experience that is rapidly changing, right? We get caught up in fear. Deborah's course has healing in it, where this energy flows in when you listen to her voice and you watch her videos, that's going to lift your frequency up so that you get it, so that it's not confusing, and so that it's not scary, and so that you are excited to do it. I'm about to teach a class soon, a new webinar called Soul Purpose. The angels are going to give the tools on how you tap into that soul purpose. We're going to clear out the fear garbage that might be in your DNA or in your belief systems that make it difficult for you to trust what that purpose is, because your soul knows what it is and you need to know what it is, and it does evolve and it does change. But Deborah's course is the next step after that, because whatever it is that your soul wants to share at this incredible time, you deserve to have help and support and incredible wisdom that Deborah is sharing to get it out there, but also the amazing confidence that comes as you do it yourself. Because sometimes we all need some guidance. Sometimes we all need to, right? Who doesn't use Google Maps when you're trying to find your way in a new town? Well, Deborah's course is like that. She's just like Lady Google. Excuse me, that's what I call the voice on my Google Maps. But that's what Deborah's course does. It's like, okay, here you are, you're on street A, you're going to be here for a mile, and then you're going to make a right turn, then you're going to make a left turn. You've got to drive the car. It doesn't work anymore for Deborah to drive your car for you because then you don't actually trust it. Creating a divine business is just that. It's a divine business. And you are the creator because creator lives within you. But you may need a frequency boost. That just means a love boost. And the energy that comes through this course, video by video, PDF by PDF, step by step, is going to wrap around you like a ruby blanket of divine mother's love. And the fear is going to melt away so that when you're ready, you'll get to the next step. And that is really the purpose of why we are creative beings, so that we evolve and we allow creator, source, infinite divine source to live within us, express throughout us and everything that we share and create. Did we get that right, Deborah?
Perfectly. I think those words were so beautiful, and the flow of energy is so beautiful. And you've got it and spot on. It's about holding that frequency and creating at that level, and that's what every one of us can judge ourselves, no matter where you find yourself and how and where you are vibrationally. um, some people understand better than others because of where they find themselves on their journey, who they are, and are able to connect and create at that higher energy. But always there's the human side of things. And with this course, I had to understand there were so many lessons for me that it doesn't matter, Deborah. There was one video where the frequency was just incredible. I could feel it, the love, and when I re-listened to it, I thought, where did these words come from? I don't remember saying it. But then I looked at the video and I thought, oh, Deborah, you look like you're 100 years old. And I thought, oh, in my humanness, I wouldn't have put the video in. But when I stepped into my divine side, I saw frequency. I didn't see anything else. I saw the love. And so what you've said there was so important. And I've created from that place of making sure that it allows people to connect with that frequency. Yeah, just lots of love. I don't know why I said that, Belinda, but I'm rambling. But you actually captured exactly what's in the course. There is all the little bits about traffic and Google ads and how to create a website and what's the difference between a website and a sales funnel and all these different things. And there's a many PDFs that deal with certain things that you would need to create a business, both a physical business, and a business online. But it's all about the frequency and dealing with the questions that spiritual beings ask um, when creating something. And so, yeah, that's what the course is about.
And so with with the panic that egos can go into, what do you feel is the most common panic where your students just shut down and they say, I don't want to do this, I won't do this, you can't make me do this? What would you say that is there a step in common for that where the ego just goes, ah?
Well, I think when we recognize, I mean, for us, what comes naturally is to create. So, human beings create with their words, with their thoughts. They just create constantly. That's why we get ourselves into so much mess. When we actually get to a place where we understand from a spiritual place, that we create with our thoughts and our words, then there can be an explosion of creativity. So we can bring out that book, that podcast, whatever it is, because we love to create. And then we take creative responsibility, I like to say, because we then start to examine, I'm not going to create negative, I'm going to create positive. So we start to get excited and we create. What happens is when we've created that, now we got to step into the scary world, and Deborah tells us we got to sell this creation. We got to market this creation. We got to talk to people. One of my clients said the other day we were talking, and she's just started to flow so beautifully. But we had a little bit of a battle in the beginning. And she said to me, she said, "Oh, Deborah, what changed it for me is you said, get off your ass and do something." And I was like, I don't remember saying that, but that's such a Deborah thing. It was just in a loving way that I said that to her. And it's that causes the panic. I'm a creative being. I've created. Now you're telling me I got to sell, I got to market, I got to do all these things. That causes the panic. And so it's kind of like you find what you have to do. You create this magical office, service, product, whatever. Now you're telling me I got to step up and step into another thing. And I've got many clients that have actually literally freaked out when I've taken them to the next step. But then I start to explain it in a way that they do little things. And every single one of them, that, for instance, I've given them 5 steps to do, and they step into their divine power and they complete those 5 steps, their product, their service gets elevated to the next level. But it's overcoming the fear of those 5 steps and activating the magic, because the magic is within us. If we overcome the fear, we use our magic in order for us to do those 5 steps. Every single one of my clients, they don't leave out a step. They overcome and they start to elevate themselves. And then it becomes fun, because they then have the self-confidence, they understand who they are, and they are ready for the next challenge. But it's that fear of now coming from the creative side, in terms of I've created this magical product. I love it. Somebody has to take it to the world, and that somebody is you. And there are magical ways of doing that doesn't tap into fear, that taps into who you are as a divine being.
What I'm hearing as you're talking about this is that you offer a loving method where the ego doesn't fall back into that wounded child place of, I'm going to be embarrassed, I'm going to be humiliated, I'm going to be destroyed, I'm going to be rejected, nobody's going to want what I have to offer. And that through your very loving procedure process, you have them vibrationally, frequency wise, just rise above that so that they stay in their power and they can keep moving. Because what you're really, and this is for anyone that has a business, whether you are conscious of this or not, is that you're working with the law of attraction. Now the angels call that, they describe that a bit differently, but they teach that when you attract from your heart, which is a place of love and joy, then that's what you bring to you. And so that's the best place to work from. And so what I hear from you, Deborah, is that that's where you take people, is you say, just hold on, Don't go running and screaming and hiding under the bed. You're only going to get dust bunnies under there. Just hold it, stay with me and let's have some fun with this. Let's overcome this lie that you're going to be rejected, because that's not possible. Your source is creating through you. And so then you get them through that next very big door
Mhm.
that can be um, really frightening, especially when the ego is very fixed on, no, somebody else is supposed to do this for me. And it's very true that this is just what I learned from the angels. So this is Belinda speaking, that if you don't do it yourself and you make somebody else do it for you, it doesn't mean that other people can't help you with this part and that part. But if you don't step through that door yourself and have the ability to talk about, whether it's, to write about it or to somehow express the description of what you have created so that you are sharing it, then it's not yours anymore. It gets diluted. It doesn't have that, that beautiful sovereign imprint that just belongs to you. So I don't know if I
And
put that clearly, but
beautifully, beautifully. And so there are things in the course, like there are things that, you know, like some of the teachings that are coming to mind, the destructive power of words. I've got a teaching around that on 40 minutes. How to create and hold my creation. A lot of people don't understand that you can create. It's almost like if you use Belinda and the 12 Archangels journey. Belinda is in her human form and she vibrates at a high frequency, but her assistance is those 12 archangels that love her and assist her to hold that frequency. And so a lot of spiritual beings don't tap into and call on, whether it's the 12 archangels, whether it's a specific angel, whether it's an ascended master. You can call on these beings to help you and hold that frequency. And so I teach that while you're creating. When you go into fear and panic, don't drop your creation. Hold that energy with that ascended master, that person that you have a personal relationship in terms of the higher, the ascended masters, the angelic realm. Hold your creation, even when you panic and freak out. And it's all of those sort of teachings that make the difference between just buying a normal business course, which this is not. This is about stepping and creating as a being that recognizes that you're here on planet Earth to make a difference. You're here to create something that is in every cell of your DNA. And you take this and you overcome that fear and you step in and you assist. That's why you do whatever it is that you do, whether it's a service, a product, and all of those little pieces are my gold nuggets that I put in and slot in to the course in order to assist others. Things like I explain to people, we're now at this place, and this is most probably what you're going to feel about doing this. This is the what you're going to experience, and this is how we overcome it. So I be as honest, because many of these things are what I have experienced in my creations. So I understand from both being a being, a powerful person that has embodied, that knows who she is, and as being a business person. So I kind of, like somebody said to me last week, they sent me a beautiful email. They said, Deborah, what you did was you allowed, even when I didn't believe, you believed, and I saw my journey through that belief. And you were like a loving parent that held my hand until I didn't need you to hold my hand anymore.
And
And
that's
if
what
you
she does,
hadn't
of
done that,
course.
yes, if you hadn't done that, I would not have continued on this journey. And now that individual has flown away. She is amazing, but I needed to help her hold that belief in the beginning. And that is what I hope this course does. It assists you to hold that belief in your dream, in your plan, in your purpose, until your spiritual wings are so big that you don't need anybody but yourself.
So, Deborah, just to ground your course um, for these sensitive beings who want to create a business or need to create a business, because business just means to exchange with other human beings. How big is the course? What does it cost? What should anybody expect? And maybe you can't answer this, but how long does it take? We're still in that, old story of time matters here on Earth. So can you give us those little practical elements?
Okay, so the first session is what I call lesson one. And in that section, there is I think 5 or 6 different parts, and basically that deals with the really spiritual side of things, the dragging the bundle up and examining what you've created and whether this is what you're supposed to be doing in terms of is this difficult. Some people, they can bypass that. They go straight to their divine gifts, because we start to look at your divine gifts, what you've taught and all that sort of stuff. So it all depends on where you are at. If you know that you've got something within you that needs to be birthed, but you don't know what that is, then that means you're going to start right at the beginning and you're going to have to go slowly through each section. Um, there are teachings. Literally had people do one section and within 2 or 3 days they finished. I've had other people that they go down such a big path of examining what they do, and that it takes them 2 or 3 months. You can do this as quickly. It's all about tapping into your calling, tapping into your divine self, listening to your heart, listening to your inner child, listening to the 12 archangels, or the ascended masters. The framework is there for you to go as fast or as slow as what you want. It depends on what where you are and how much work you need. And so it has all these different lessons. The topics in there are the story, your story, um, identifying who you're speaking to, your target audience, or who you're trying to draw into your world, examining what your offer says, in terms of what you're creating, the product you're creating. There is a whole section on love and gratitude, how we create, how that is an energy, and how we create from that energy. That's all in the first part. And then the second lesson, which I call lesson two, goes into actually building that offer out. So, a website, discussing different aspects of going online, whether you want to not go online, whether you just want a physical business. So, that's how the course is broken up. Some people flow through it quickly, other people take their time. What is nice about it is that there is no rush. You can do this and you can keep going back, and build your website, work with your PDFs. Every single section has 1 or 2 PDFs, and there is a whole PDF section that just might not be relevant to you because you might not be creating a business in that niche. The cost of it is 777. I've got 3 options. You can pay it one off, you can pay it over 2 months, or you can literally pay it over 7 months. This has been about making it affordable for everybody. That's my heart. I want as many people as possible that feel drawn to my energy, to who I am, and feel that they're called for me to assist them to be able to afford it. That's this is part of my divine spiritual contract to do this in order to assist those. I am a lighthouse. I call those that are drawn to work with me for this time. And it needs to be affordable for everyone. So that's what I've done.
Deborah, can you tell us how do we find this awesome course of yours? Can we find it on the School of Spiritual Evolution website or below this video where you're talking about the course? Where can people easily find this course and learn about it? And I also believe you have a free sample of your course.
Yes, so you can go to my website which is deborahannlangford.com, and I will leave the link below this video. You can go to the school. It is on the school. It's available there, and all the information that you need is below this video.
Wonderful. Well, may this course go out into the world and help all who are ready to receive it and to find those wings and share their God-given genius with all those who are ready to be blessed by their gifts. So thank you so much for creating your course. Thank you.
And thank you and the 12 Archangels for giving me the opportunity. I don't take anything for granted. I love both you and the angels very, very much. Um, yeah, lots of love.
Well, wonderful. So I just want to say, this is Belinda Womack, together with Deborah Ann Langford. You can find her at Deborah Ann Langford, LANGFORD.com.